Hi, welcome to the Cooper Cricket Workshop. Today we're going to talk about how to knock in your cricket bat. Let's talk about what you're going to need. You'll need your cricket bat, you'll need some raw linseed oil, bat knocker-innerer, and if you want to put face protection on your cricket bat, you're going to need a sheet of clear gut. So the first step is to oil your cricket bat. So we have a much more in-depth video about this, and the links to that are in the description below. So we're going to just get straight into it. So now that the bat's all oiled, we just have to let it dry for 24 hours or until it's dry, depending on your weather conditions. And then once it's dry, do it one more time. 2 good coats of oil is perfect for getting your bat ready before we start knocking it in. You can store it vertically if you like, or you can lie it down horizontally. So when the oil's drying, you'll just want to keep it in a room that has a nice controlled temperature and definitely not in the sun. Okay, so now that the oil's dry, we can start knocking in. We want to start by rounding off the edges. Okay, so we're going to go from shoulder to toe, and we're going to hit directly on the corner, and that will cause an indent. And what we're going to do is do that all the way down, and then as we do it, we're going to rock it to the left a little bit, and we're going to go down there again. We're going to rock it to the right a little bit, go down there again until we get that nice and rounded. What that means is we're compressing the willow into itself so that it will be nice and strong, just like the face is, to withstand the impact of the ball. So once you've finished knocking in the corners of the edge, you will then move into knocking in the face on the edge side. Okay, so same process from shoulder to toe, all the way down, and you're really trying to knock in the first 2 to 3 centimeters of that edge there. Okay, so we're going to do each side. Should take about 10 to 15 minutes. So now that we've done the edges and the corners of the edges, we're going to move on to the toe. We're really going to concentrate on probably the first 8 centimeters from the bottom of the bat. And all we're trying to do is hit this area directly on the face, okay? Really only trying to do this for about 10 to 15 minutes again, but it's really until you start seeing all of that even out. You will start seeing dents in the bat, but it will even out as you get further along. Okay, so now that you've done the edges, the corner of the edges, the bottom of the toe, then you can go over the face of the bat, the rest of the bat. I'm not all that concerned about the rest of the bat. I'm really wanting you to harden up the problem areas that can damage the edges and the toe. They're the most susceptible to damage. The face, yes, you can go over that just to even it out, but you're not going to get too much damage right there. It's really on those edges and toe. Okay, so now that we've done that, we're ready to go to the nets with old balls and start using them in the nets against just some gentle throwdowns or bowling. If you're finding that you're getting heaps of seam marks in the bat, especially on the areas that you've really concentrated on, then a little bit more knocking in. Once you've done that, back to the nets, try again. Once you're happy with it in the nets with the old balls, then try with new balls. I'm sure you'll find that your bat will be ready to go. Again, if it is leaving significant seam marks, then keep knocking it in until it's ready. All you're doing through this knocking in process is really just hardening the willow, okay? Hardening the willow up to withstand the impact of the ball. Let's go through a couple of tips and tricks to make the worst job of buying a new cricket bat a little bit easier. 5-minute bursts, that's all you really need to do. Listen to a song or something that makes the job a little bit less monotonous. If you can go longer and go hard, that's awesome, but you generally find after about 5 minutes the shoulders start to hurt, the forearms start to cramp up. So break it up into little jobs, okay? The other thing is that if you have a wedding ring and you hold the back of the bat with your wedding ring hand, you may cause indentations from the constant pressure, you know, knocking of the mallet. So if you have a wedding ring on, just put a towel over your hand and hold the bat that way. That way you won't indent the bat at all with your wedding ring. The process of knocking in the bat should only take about an hour to an hour and a half. You're really wanting to spend 10 or 15 minutes on each corner of the edge, 10 or 15 minutes on the face side of the edge, and then 10 or 15 minutes on the toe. You can then spend a little bit more time on the face if you want, but generally an hour to an hour and a half. There are a few things you shouldn't do when you're knocking in a bat. That's hitting the mallet directly onto the toe or hitting the mallet directly onto the edge. What it can do is it can promote delamination. So what that is when the pressed area of the face starts breaking away from the rest of the bat. Okay, so that's what that does by hitting there and there. You certainly don't want to damage those two areas. They're the most susceptible to damage. We do get asked a lot, what if I just go and use my bat and don't knock it in? Well, you can do that, absolutely. What you will do though is you'll shorten the life of your bat. The areas that don't get pressed when the face of the bat goes through the press is predominantly the edges here. We can't get the rollers right on the corners, okay? So that's why these have to compress down. Otherwise, they stay very soft and brittle, and when a ball impacts them, it can cause major cracking. Same with the toe. The toe doesn't get as much pressing because there's just not as much wood there, okay? So it doesn't get as much pressing as the bigger parts of the bat. So you're really just trying to harden those areas up to withstand the impact of the ball. Again, we don't want to promote any cracking prematurely. If you go out and use your bat without knocking it in, I guarantee that you'll get a ball and it'll cause a massive crack in your bat. If you're happy with that, that's fine. If not, then do the work, knock it in, and you'll have a bat for a long time rather than just a season. So thanks for watching. That's how you knock in one of our cricket bats. The process is the same no matter which brand you buy. It may be a little bit longer here and there depending on how much the bat was pressed when it was made, but certainly for our cricket bats, that's what we recommend. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and we'll catch you in the next video.